biggest aspect of a lot of our setbacks as Cameroonians is information. Lack of information, or access to the wrong information, or access to not the right information. There's a realization that we all know that information is power. When you have knowledge, you have information. When you have that, you control a lot of things, even your own very self. So how are we not in position to control ourselves if, of course, we believe we have access to information? My mentor would always tell me, Cameroon is one place where there is free information, but there is no free flow of information. And to be honest, it is quite true. But now, our generation, we have access to all this information. Social media, there's internet, there is everything. There is almost every other place has an open door. You can go into any office and ask for some information. You might get it then, you might get it later, but you have access to that. The problem is, we don't even know what right information is or what wrong information is. As a great philosopher once said, we don't even know what we do know, nor do we even know what we do not know. And that's a very big problem, right? Yeah, very big, very big. My goal is, I want to someday come up with that realization that we are able to convert an uninformed pessimist to an informed optimist. Unless we have minds that are looking in a direction that is positively oriented, then we can even talk of change. Believe me. We live in an economy where negativity is being sold at a very, very cheap price and everyone buys it so dear. We depend on that more than we even depend on the values and virtues that confine us every day. And honestly, that is why we struggle. We struggle simply because we don't know how to convey the right information, or we are not trained in that direction. We don't know because we don't even know where the source of information is. Is the source of information in schools? Is it in the offices? Is it with our parents? Where is the source of information? Is it in us? Anyways, before we even start talking about anything, right? The goal is, first of all, knowing who you are. Because you can have all the information that you have in this world, but if you don't know who exactly you are, then that information means nothing. You get me? This is very important what I'm trying to say. Who we are is so important, not what we are. Who we are is who we've been defining ourselves as, is who we see ourselves as, not who others see us as. Because what you see yourself is what you sell off to others to be able to see you. And that's the image you do get. So it is very important that you are the masterpiece of your own definition. The moment you let others define you, you let the world define you, then it becomes a definition of the world. And usually that definition is not who you really are. There are two important factors that control life: definitions and relationships to those definitions. From the day you were born, you've been told or given everything that has been associated to you, right? From your name, your language, your siblings, your country, your school, your neighborhood, all of that. You didn't choose that. Given that. Then, with time, you develop relationships to that. From food, to clothing, to luxury, to church, religion, anything that becomes attributed to your daily life. You develop a habit, be it sports, anything. And then you have a relationship towards that. Of course, the relationships do matter. Because, like they would say, one man's meat is another man's poison, right? So, there's some things that you might like in some places that others would not like. It's just to tell you that everything at some point becomes very, very relative. And until you have that understanding of relativity, then you are able to understand how you sort yourself out in the too many things that go on in life around us. But again, we go back to that same and very fundamental question: who are you? Who are you is a function of what you've learned. Who are you is a function of what you represent yourself as. And getting to that is what is very tricky for almost everyone. If you don't know who you are, then you don't have a definition in life. What's the definition of your own very self? You must be the one to define yourself. Don't let the world around you define you. When you let the world around define you, then, of course, you become a definition of the world. But to find this definition, it goes along with you finding purpose. What is purpose? It's the biggest question we always do get. And no one seems to have that answer. These are things that are not being taught in schools. These are things that we don't learn on every day. These are things that you slowly just become that. And then once you find it, you try to replicate it. Coming from Cameroon, we've really been taught a lot of things the wrong way. I wouldn't say we've been taught the wrong things. We've just been taught a lot of things the wrong way. And that's where we are right now. The issue is solutions that were implemented decades ago. Curriculums that were drafted decades ago at the time then are still being used now. Things have changed. Things have changed a lot. So a lot had not been adapted to the current circumstances of everything. And of course, we are not able to adapt to the changes that the world is posing on us today. But once you find purpose, everything becomes aligned. Everything. I mean everything. Everything. Purpose. Like they would always say, there are two important dates in your life. The day you were born and the day you know why you were born. Why you were born is purpose. Once you find purpose, then you find true meaning of happiness. That's why the happiest person is not the richest person, right? Sometimes, many a times, it's actually the poorest man who's the happiest. Because happiness becomes an aspect of a behavior, a being, nature. Because naturally, you can't buy it, you can't force it. And once you've been able to find purpose, then you now know how to set your goals and your plans. And once you have those plans, you make the plan to succeed. Because if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Who are you? Is so important to understanding how you plan and for what you plan for. Because purpose is what you arrive at once you plan right.